Right guys, I've just seen the first episode of MoonKnight. What a great episode it was. The episode starts off with the mysterious character of Arthur Harrow. Arthur Harrow's got a tattoo of scales on his forearm which represent the Egyptian god called Amit, known as the Eater of Bad, the Boogeyman. The title of the episode is Goldfish Problem. Our episode revolves around the character of Stephen Grant, who does not have a clue about his alternative personality, Mark Spencer, or have a clue about MoonKnight. Stephen Grant gets out of bed, feeds his fish, Gus, the one-finned fish. Then he is talking on the phone, which appears to be his mother, and then he leaves for work. We find out in the episode that he works at a museum in a gift shop, and we also find out that he have a lot of information about Egyptian gods. At work, he finds out that he's got a date later on, but he does not have a clue about that because that was the character, that was the personality of Mark Spencer. He does not have a clue about anything. He gets back home, he tries to go back to sleep, and he could not sleep. He was trying to keep himself awake actually because he does not want to black out again. He blacks out, then he goes out in his ventures which he does not have a clue about. He is still unaware of his other personalities and the MoonKnight, the Egyptian god Khonshu, and other relative things. While he's trying to keep himself awake, reading books, doing research on other Egyptian gods, he throws a Rubik's Cube in the air and then he blacks out. He wakes up in what appears to be a village somewhere in Germany. He's face down on the grass. He gets up and he finds out that he's got a scarce beetle in his pocket. Then he hears some voice in the background trying to say that, oh, give up your body. And we found out that's the voice of the Egyptian god Khonshu. He then finds out that a couple of people chasing him. They chase him down to the village where he comes across the character of Arthur Harrow. Arthur Harrow's character either obsessed or possessed by the Egyptian god Amit. He's after the beetle, which is in the possession of our character Stephen Grant. Stephen Grant tries to give the beetle away, but obviously Khonshu's got control over his body, so he prevents that from happening. Then he blacks out again. He beats the shit out of a few people over there. After that, we jump into a big speed car chase scene where the bad guys are chasing Stephen Grant, and Stephen Grant is trying to get away from this whole problem. Then he phases in and out. He blacks out in between the characters of Stephen Grant and Mark Spencer. Then he's on the road and then the timber starts falling, and that's when he wakes up again. When he wakes up in his bed, he thinks that was a big dream and he was just dreaming all of that. That was not true. So he wakes up and then he starts feeding his fish. That's when he realizes there's something wrong, something not right. The fish that he fed earlier in the beginning of the episode, Gus, had only one fin. But this fish that he's feeding right now, he's got two fins. So he takes the fish back to the pet shop and he has a bit of an argument over there. Then he finds out that he came to the pet store yesterday as well, and then he figures out that he must have blacked out again and something must have happened. He realizes the time, then he's got a date in the evening. He ends up going to the date, finds out over there that he's 2 days late. The date was on Friday evening and this is Sunday evening. Then he goes back home. He realizes there's something going on. He figures out that the other character, which is Mark Spencer, is hiding something in this secret compartment in his apartment. He finds a phone and he finds a charger, some key. I don't know what that key belongs to, apartment, flat, or something else. Then he finds out there's a lot of missed calls from this character Layla, which is the love interest of Mark Spencer. He then starts hearing some voices that give up, stop looking into it, and that's his alternative personality trying to regain control of the body. He then freaks out. He runs out of the apartment. He goes into the elevator and he goes down where he encounters the Egyptian god Khonshu, and then the old lady seeing the old lady comes into the elevator when he's sitting on the floor and he's like, oh, I lost my lens. But yeah, the old lady's freaking out from this guy, and he obviously is freaked out by the Egyptian god Khonshu. Later on, then he's going back to work. He realizes that he's been followed by the character of Arthur Harrow. He goes into the museum where he finds that he's still chasing him, and where he confronts him, and he goes, "I want that beetle back." And then he tries to suck the soul out of him, or suck the energy out of him, which Emmett Goad does. So he grabs his hands, and the scales on his Arthur's forearm starts moving, but nothing happens. And he goes, "There's chaos in you," and he lets him go. Later on in the evening, when Stephen is trying to finish work and go back home, that's where the Egyptian dog monster thing starts chasing him, and he runs into the toilet. That's where he has a bit of a conversation with his other personality in the mirror, which is Mark Spencer. Mark Spencer is trying to regain control so he can save their lives, and he's convincing Stephen to give him the control, then he can fight the monsters. And that happens in the end of the episode, and we see a bit of a glimpse of Moon Knight. I think this whole episode was revolving around the character and the point of view of Stephen Grant. I think next episode is going to be filling in the blanks, the blackouts, the things that weren't explained. So we're going to see that in the next episode. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching Review Night. This is my first video. I'm going to polish my videos even more. Stay tuned. Like and subscribe my channel, please. Do support us. Thank you very much.